Birch! Hunter Birch! Hunter Birch, can you hear me? Hear me? Hunter! Hunter!
Dissidents, traitors, or anyone with seditious thoughts beware, because the most devout Helldivers are now truth enforcers, doing their part to ensure our enemies never gain the upper.
Huh?
No, I cannot.
No, I'm not. Nuh-uh. Hunter, are you talking?
Hello?
Hi, Hunter.
Hello. We're experiencing some minor technical difficulties at the moment. Please give us a second. Thank you. so.
Hunter, can you hear me? Hunter, can you hear me? Hunter, can you hear me?
They have a Walmart.
Hunter Birch.
What are we gonna do at the Walmart?
Hunter, can you hear me? Hunter, Earth to Hunter Birch.
Right there. What are we gonna do at the Walmart?
No, I can't. I still can't hear you.
They have a Walmart. Right there. What are we gonna do at the Walmart?
Hello? Oh, hello. Talk? Hello and welcome to the Valhalla Classic. Hello and welcome to the very first Valhalla Classic today, November 17th, 2024. This is a little bit of a production test we're doing for our final event in December, but bear with us as we roll with the punches.
Today's broadcast is going to be slightly scuffed, but it'll be cool. So just enjoy the show. I believe we're going to be getting into game one right now. I think we're going to Busan. Hunter, how do you like the map Busan?
Busan's a very classic map. Been around for a very long time. Was the launch map in Overwatch 1? Or
No, it was not with Overwatch 1. It was one of the first new maps.
Well, Busan, a very varied map. Different points you can run dive, poke, and brawl. It's not very locked together. So depending on the first map we get on this first round, we could see very different comps.
Yeah, I mean, you have downtown as pretty brawl heavy. You have Mecha Base is pretty brawl heavy, and then you have was it Sanctum? I forget the middle one there, but it's pretty poke oriented as well. But you can dive. Shrine, yeah, you can dive as well. So looks like we're going to downtown to start. Talking about dive strategy with Sharkbait coming out on the Doomfist, and looks like Gavitron coming out on the Ramatra. So nice little brawl versus dive comp.
Yeah. We are looking at a little bit of pokiness from the Zen here. Whoa, which team is which?
Let's just go blue team and red team to make things easier. So blue team wrapping around the side. Looks like red's going to go ahead and take main. Zen set back and poking here. Doom's getting into the mix in the front. That's a Discord on the Ramatra looking to melt him. He's actually pretty darn low. Reaper barely getting out. Blue team strikes first, taking out Reform Key. Ooh, McCree is just in there. I don't know where he's coming from.
Yeah. Kree getting a little too aggressive. Zen going in on the backline. I mean, Reaper going in on the Zen, but Zen able to hold him off. Blue team is coming out on top here. The tank overextended very heavily, LOSing his supports, unable to get the healing he needed to stay alive. Coming into the second fight here, we're halfway on 4 ults on the blue team, while we are substantially lower on the red team. Zen and Reaper taking the right side off angle. Reaper immediately overextending, getting picked.
Big pick out of Wanisham on the former Reaper, and looks like blue team answers back, gets the man advantage to start this out. And Zenyatta is just being incredibly aggressive, not getting punished at all. Really kind of just asserting dominance here. These fights do look a little bit sloppy out of both sides. Kind of a death match.
Yeah. London Furnos cleaning up 2 right there at the end. We have Trans on the blue team, very big ult, able to sustain the whole team for a very long time. Something that would be really good against, say, the Annihilation that we might see coming up in a fight or so. We also have Cole and Blossom coming out. He will force the Trans, though.
Ooh, Inferno's getting into the backline, maybe trying to make a big play here. Gavitron does take out Weapon Lex. Oh, and Lord Inferno's kind of styling on him, barely getting it out and coming back for the kill. Sharkbait, massive Doom ult, absolutely crazy cleanup there from Sharkbait. And blue team's just kind of dominating this whole map. I think red team really can't get their footing. I mean, you got the Venture just going in the back line every time they want to try to make a play, and the front line is just suffering because the back line cannot help them out because they're getting pressed so hard. Just the timings out of blue team are just excellent right now.
Very coordinated coming from the blue team. This is final fight here if red team doesn't pick it up. Immediately dropping their DPS with Ana falling in the backline, unable to get out. London Furnace popping the Venture ult, looking for any cleanup, but Tranquility does find the tank and Brig. Very clean round.
Pretty dominant out of the blue team, yeah. I think red team's big problem was they really couldn't get a cohesive brawl going. They were just kind of getting picked apart from both sides. I mean, you had the Venture constantly in the backline just waiting till they try to make a move. Let's take a look at the players here. We got 2U on the Widow. Again, Lord Inferno's there just cleaning up on the Venture. Gavitron on the Maga. The Zen out of Tranquility was absolutely massive. Really just doing what he wanted the whole game and not getting punished.
He's not getting forced out very much. The Reaper did try to make an attempt, but with the Discord and the DPS support, he wasn't able to just walk on the Zen like he would have wanted to. Yeah,
normally you want to. That's prime target number 1 is that Zenyatta, and if he doesn't have anything to help him out, he's easy pickings. But they just weren't really making him a priority.
Now, coming into the second round here, we are seeing a very brawly comp from red team. The Rhine, the Ana, the Sombra, looking to isolate a pick and punish them. But we are seeing the dive again out of the blue team, the Doomfist, the Moira Venture, and the Reaper, able to go for those flanks and isolate targets. Zen is also just going to be able to sit back and poke.
Wow, Reaper really just getting in there, and then followed up by the Venture. And then again, Zen just doing his thing on point, whatever he wants to do. I would really think that red team would want to kind of get a Tracer or something to pressure that Zen out, because I think the Discord is really just tearing apart the red team tank. Gavitron is not having a fun time perma Discord.
Yeah. If they didn't want to swap Tracer, they'd probably need to get off the Reinhardt because he's not able to close the distance before he takes enough damage to have to put up his shield.
Ooh, big pick out of Tuyu on the Widow onto the Moira. That's most of blue team's sustainability in the fight, so they're going to be passing around a Zen Orb trying to survive this one. But then again, I mean, they do play pretty split. Doom could just pop in and out of the fight as he wants. Reaper can pop out of the fight, and then there goes. The Widow's already down thanks to the Venture. I mean, I think red team might want to venture their own to just really try to pressure that Zen out.
Yeah, I do think that the Widow is not working for them. While they may find the occasional pick, it's not doing as much. It's not giving as much value as this Venture or this Reaper, who are just constantly in the backline, drawing attention away from the tank.
Yeah, I think they could definitely keep the Widow, but they might want to. They probably need a Brig or something just to counteract what's going on with this Venture. Because similar to the Zen, just kind of doing whatever he wants the whole time. I mean, the Venture too, just kind of going unpunished. Like, you need a Kree, you need a Brig, you need something to really mitigate what's going on in your back line. Because down goes the Widow again. Like, blue team is doing whatever they want whenever they want, and red team is just kind of getting surrounded and picked apart one by one.
Yeah, and coming into this fight, we do see a swap coming out from the red team. They did get off of the Reinhardt and swap to the Tamir Doomfist, and we'll see how that works for them. This is final fight. They do need to get a touch before the round's over. They do get it, running to point.
Oof. Out comes Tranquility. I think there is absolutely no hope for red team. It looks like it's going to be a clean 100-0, 100-0. Blue team really just asserting dominance there.
That is map 1 to the blue team. Now, Spencer, what do you think the red team really needed to change specifically there to have a chance of winning that game?
I mean, I think the problem was they were trying to play a brawl comp into a pretty heavy, dive comp, and traditionally speaking, if the dive is, well, brawl can beat out dive, and it should, realistically, but the problem was the timings were just off where they didn't get to have a cohesive brawl. And the whole point about playing brawl is you 3-2-1 in together, you focus things down together, and they just could never do that because their backline was getting hit as soon as their front line walked up, and then the front line would explode because the backline couldn't help them, and the backline would explode because the front line couldn't help them. So just kind of a cycle of just getting picked apart and never really getting to come together and fight together as a team.
Yeah. Do we know the map pool for the second game?
So that will be on to red team's pick because they did lose the first map. So we're going to have to wait to see what they pick for the next one. I would think, though, maybe they want to play a straightforward brawl map if they want to play that type of comp. Maybe go to a King's Row, maybe go to something where there's less flanks and they can play more of a straightforward match. Or they need to really just adjust their entire play style. So.
Yeah. I'd love to see a King's Row game coming out here. Such a classic map, one of especially Overwatch 1 players' favorite maps in the game. A lot of newer players though don't seem to like it as much.
Oh, they're wrong, because King's Row is the absolute best map in the game. It is El Clasico, as commonly referred to in the sport of soccer. It's really just one of the best maps in the game. You can play brawl, you can play dive, you can play poke, and then built into the map itself, like, all three of those are preferable depending on what point you're on. So it's just a really balanced, even map where a lot of strategies can thrive. And as the meta shifts, it remains a good map for a lot of those options.
It's one of the hybrid maps without such oppressive high ground on the second and third points, which makes it a lot easier for the attacking team to get progress on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely high ground present, but it's for most of the map, it's pretty accessible for both sides. Really, point 3 is where a Widow or an Ashe can do quite a bit of work of those last two high grounds, and sometimes that's where you see teams swap off the brawl, go onto a dive just to try to take that high ground and try to finish the map out. But for the most part, you can brawl out for the majority of the map, and even point 1 you can poke out on defense, depending on what you want to do there. But
yeah, and fun fact. King's Row is designed by the now current lead game designer, Aaron Keller.
Game director,
my bad. But also, the map Dorado is designed by the same man.
Yeah, Dorado is bad. They fixed it, so it's a little bit better. But and it's not that it's necessarily bad. It's more just like difficult to understand for most players, and even like high end players. Inside of the comp context was a lot less coordination. It can be really difficult because you have to overcome that high ground just out of the gate. That's just right there in your face. So it's hard to even mount a proper offense without that coordination, which, I mean, that's really different from what we're doing here, which, just to give everybody like a heads up today, what today really is, it is a throw together. We're actually drafting players every set, so best 3 out of 5. The losing team captain then gets to take the first 2 draft picks, and then the winning team captain will get picks 3 and 4, and we're just going to keep drafting players back and forth to get a good little balanced teams, and at the end of the day, whichever player has the most points moving across all of the sets will be the Scramble Valhalla Classic champion, however we want to call it. Like I said, bit of a scuff day, but pretty fun. Cool stuff going on, some production testing. But even with the production test, we got to make it competitive. Got to have fun with it. Yeah. So there's a average, much higher level of coordination than your standard comp game, because everyone is playing in the room together. In between rounds, they are getting up and talking, okay, I think we should play a brawl here, I think we should do this, I think we should do that. So a lot more than your average comp match. So but you're getting new teammates every round, and the teammate you maybe just stomped their team out with is now on the other team. You're like, okay, well, I know this guy's going to play the Venture, for example, so maybe you want to play the Cass, maybe you want to play the Brig, maybe you want to play something to shut that down or mark that character. But yeah, we're yapping. I don't remember how we even started this. Something about Dorado, but yeah, I think the red team is just going to have to really reevaluate how they want to approach this matchup, because it wasn't even just like one character on the blue team was a problem. I felt like it was the whole team, realistically.
Yeah.
What would you say?
Well, yeah, I'd say the composition wasn't very cognizant. They were just very all over the place. Like we were talking about mid-game, they had that Venture, that Reaper in the backline drawing the attention of the supports. So when the tank was pushing the front line, he had no support. And it was exemplified with the Discord. So he's just taking that much more damage. And when you have your team that separated, you're not able to make any plays. And when you're on the Reinhardt, when you need to be, all death ball grouped together, you need to be able to hurl yourself at the enemy, and they weren't able to do that.
Yeah, I think the red team or blue team, excuse me, just did a phenomenal job of really disorganizing the red team and not letting them play together as a unit like they want to do in that brawl composition. Kind of like what you see a lot about of Wrecking Ball. Why Wrecking Ball is so good is he could just cause so much chaos, and Wrecking Ball himself might not be getting the limbs, but he's causing mistimings, he's causing miscommunications, he's getting the entire team off, kilter, where they can't really make a good push together. And that's just what blue team was just doing so well. The Doom slamming in, the Venture burrowing behind, and then that Zen just like chipping away with Discord the entire time. And then the Reaper too. The Reaper was just in there as well. So there was just a lot of very skirmishy ins and outs, just making it very difficult for red team to stay on the same page.
Yeah. And like with that, like what you're talking about with the ball, it's what people need to realize is just because you're not necessarily doing damage or like getting kills doesn't mean you're not making space or distracting and like making it easier for your team to do those things for you. That's why the ball is so good at high levels, and why balls with like high level balls have the best game sense in the game. Because when you're rolling through the enemy team, able to distract them and pull those resources, say you get on a nade or sleep dart out, or you force a Suzu with a big slam, you're creating opportunities for your teammates to be able to go in, use their abilities, their ultimates to be able to close out the fight.
Yeah, I really think that's what blue team was just doing such a good job at. But then in their own right, they were also just kind of fragging out while doing that at the same time. Yeah. Reaper was drawing a lot of resources, but then he's hitting a huge blossom. Doom was drawing a lot of resources, but then he was getting punched and he was getting slam kills. And then Venture, it just seemed like every fight he just picked someone from the back line before the fight barely even started. So, and then again, the Zen just doing what he wants most of the time. So, I think, the red team's really just going to have to decide what they want to different. Let's go ahead and kick it back to production now, and then we'll see what map we're going into for number 2.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope Adiel's sitting there.
Yoo-hoo!
As we said, slightly scuffed production. I don't think he's there.
And I think we have to keep yapping. So, tell us about your background with Overwatch.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
Yeah,
Why?
because we're filling time.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm a West Side Overwatch coach. I'm Coach lawhon. I've played Overwatch since beta, old man Overwatch. When they came out, 2016? Yeah, no, was it even before that?
It was early
Was it
2016.
Okay.
Beta might have been late 2015.
Yeah, okay, so like 9 years of Overwatch, something like that. Played forever. Peaked top 500 for support back in the day. Usually sit around GM all roles. Not trying to like brag or anything, but
No, it's fine.
I know the game pretty well. And I coach the varsity. I coach the entire program here at West High. We have about 5-6 teams typically, a varsity, a JV, and as many Frostsoft teams as we can fill. And I work the closest with varsity and JV. But the great thing is I usually have returning alumni that coach all the Frostsoft teams as well. So pretty knowledgeable about the game for the most part. But I would say that the most fun part of my Overwatch experience has mostly just been coaching. I mean, playing's a ton of fun, but coaching is just a lot really rewarding. Getting the players together, getting them on the same page, and then teaching them how to really play the game. Because you should tell them. Okay, looks like we're going to be getting into the next map here. As I said, slightly scuffed production today, but hopefully enjoyable. Looks like we're going to be getting into map 2 right now.
It's not time yet.
Production said 5-second warning. They're lying.
I think that was old. I think that was an old warning.
How was that?
I think that was the warning before the first game.
I think we have to upgrade from slightly scuffed to indefinitely scuffed.
And we're lagging too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Yeah, this is a whole 20 minutes ago.
Okay. Well,
Okay. Well,
we should probably cut away to our looping graphics so we're not sitting here.
probably.
Probably. If only someone is at the board listening.
Audio. Putting us in an awkward position here, pal. There we go.
Would you look at that? I don't know what I'm looking at. Look.
And we're back. The map for map 2, we're going to New Queen Street. It's a push. This is a push map right there.
Slightly scuffed production. We are going to New Queen Street for our second map, and that is the red team's pick because they just kind of got obliterated on the first map, as we saw if you were watching previously. So, kind of surprising that New Queen Street plays into the strengths of blue team. It's a lot of space to play in, a lot of area to go around and catch those flanks. So I don't know, maybe the red team is cooking something up different and they're ready to maybe like mirror that playstyle. But let's go ahead and get into it here.
Yeah. Comp decisions here. Let's see what the blue team opts for. Last round they were very dive heavy, so we'll see what they decide to go with here. I'm thinking they're probably going to go with the Doomfist again. As we said, this is this map that plays into their strengths very well. So we'll see right now.
Also, maybe production could get the scoreboard at the top, which is that PNG. Who knows?
And I was right. Blue team did opt for the Doomfist, same comp as last game, the Doom Reaper Venture Moira Zen. And red team decided not to make any swaps. They're keeping the Reinhardt, but they still have well, I guess they did swap.
Their backline is a lot more survivable with the Lucio Moira. It's going to be a lot harder for that Venture and Reaper to get on top of them and run them over. So, yeah, I mean, I think this comp can definitely work. And maybe like a Winston over the Reinhardt might be a little bit better, but I don't know. Let's see. Maybe the Ryan wants to get really aggressive, get some pin kills, and get in from there. But Doomfist off the map. Talk about a start. That's going to probably be 0.1 win for red team. They're going to take control of that bot and start making some push progress. But interesting play out of Sharkbait 101.
Yeah, Sharkbait 101, not known for his intelligent plays, decided to punch his way off the map while trying to hit the Genji.
Hey, he almost had him.
Almost, but almost isn't having it.
That's fair. Oh, 2U coming out strong on the Tracer, putting down that Reaper, kind of retaining that cart progress for his team. Doom coming in, punching out the Rhine. And this is what I was talking about. Reinhardt here having a hard time surviving into the punch. All he can do is just sit there and hope his Moira keeps him up. He is able to sustain out, and like we were talking about before, that Venture is just not having the same impact on as he did on the last map, because this backline is a lot more survivable, less exploitable. Interesting too, one thing I noticed, Tranquility off the Zen already and onto the Brig, and I think that was 2U really recognized what we were talking about there, which was like that Zen is easy pickings if somebody pushes them, and onto the Tracer Genji, that Zen is going to have a much harder time. But blue team figuring it out, coming back already, 2U fighting the good fight, getting a pulse kill and taking them on a bit of a goose chase back here, but probably going to fall down here as well. Sharkbait cleaning it up. He didn't like the thing you said about his gameplay, so he had to prove himself here.
Yeah. Tranquility did swap off the Zen already. Good recognition that it wasn't going to work as well. We are coming into this fight with several ults online. Doomfist ult, Coalescence from the Moira, and Beat. We're also coming up on a Shadow. That could be large. But blue team already finds the Moira, and Ryan is already low. We are cleaning up here. 2U getting picked, but Reinhardt trading it out.
Yeah, I think the Reinhardt needs to hit a big shatter and then maybe just, well, hopefully hit a big shatter. And probably wants to swap something a little bit more mobile, because the entire comp out of blue team just is high mobility. You got the Tracer, you got the Moira, you got the Reaper, you got the Doom. I mean, really, Brig is the only person that doesn't have high mobility, but she is just ultra survivable on her own, so she's not really worried about the Genji and the Tracer out of the red side. But looks like we did get a shatter off, and he was able to take down the Reaper, but he's just not able to get into the fight the same way that the Doomfist is able to get into the fight and just kind of move around and play where he wants. Doom is going to get overwhelmed there by the entirety of red team, but the blue team is just marching away at this point.
Yeah, a little bit of a waste of blade in my opinion. The fight was basically already over. They were already down their tank and I think a support, so the blade might have been a little bit of overkill. Same with the Pulse. Pulse did not need to be committed for a singular Reaper on point. We did keep the Reinhardt coming into this fight, not wanting to swap. But actually, it turns out blue team has come back in time, and red team looks to have lost the fight. Reinhardt won in the backline, getting picked. And now Doomfist is going to go onto the backline for free. Looking for the Kiriko, no TP. Pivoting to Lucio, Venture cleaning up. Looks to be another blowout, in my opinion.
Well, we see we're actually onto the Malga now, which Malga does have a little bit better engage than the Reinhardt. He's a little bit more self-sustainable, but the Reaper is definitely going to be a problem for him. So he will be able to pressure the Doomfist pretty well with the burn as well. So I guess we're just going to have to see here. But this is what I'm talking about. You see the Doomfist just jumping into the backline and playing wherever he wants, and the Maga is going to have to play a little bit more straightforward and honest. He's not, and he just doesn't have access to the resources the same way that Doom does, which Doom doesn't need a lot of babysitting. He can get in and out, and he can kind of set the pace to play. But really, like, blue team has just kept the tempo up this entire time, and they're really controlling every fight, and red team is just kind of like at the mercy of the speed the blue team wants to play at.
Yeah, I will say though, I do think this actually correlates a little bit. I do think the red tank, aka Malga, is playing on a controller.
Ah, you can get away with it. You can play Doom on a controller.
No,
You can play Winston on a controller.
the Malga is.
Yeah, I'm saying he could play anything on the controller realistically. I mean,
Yeah, there's just a slight competitive disadvantage.
yeah, I mean, that's fine. He could definitely run the Winston as well. Excuse me. Oh, huge blizzard coming out though. Looks like the Mei is trying to do everything they can to take this back, but I swear it feels like red team are winning fights, but it just doesn't matter. The cart just keeps rolling for the blue team. And again, I think this is a bit of a timing issue. I think that the red team is just finding themselves in these staggers over and over just because of the nature of how blue team is attacking every fight.
Yeah.
Again, see, look, Venture just pops out of the backline, gets a pick, and then just gets out of there. Maybe a big cage coming out here from the Malga. Yep, that's huge. There comes the Coalescence, though, and he is just getting absolutely melted. Ooh, unfortunate. I don't know, what do you think about maybe even like going to a Hog or something?
Hog definitely wouldn't be the worst pick, especially because they don't have an honor or something to shut them down. We do see him swap off of Malga onto Ramatra here, but I don't think that's a great swap here. He's still going to get bullied by CC, the Brig, the Doomfist, the Venture. He is coming out fighting the rally, but unable to do anything, getting bullied by the Reaper and rallying Brig, leaving her on 1 health but unable to finish the kill, pushing to cap the final point. Lucio beating to save the point, stall. They're running to touch, but all of blue is just sitting on point. Sojourn fighting desperately to win, gets picked by the Doomfist. Venture coming in on point, big dig. Mei getting punched back, 1 health, getting picked by Venture. And it looks like red team may take this.
I think the red team is stabilizing here, but out comes the Venture ult. That could be a really big problem. Venture finds 1, finds 2. If she finds another, red could be in big problem. Oh.
Yeah, Mei 1, no cryo. That's a very big survivability. Ramatra 1, getting picked by the Doomfist. Mei's next, 1 health. Does use the Blizzard, finds the Venture, is gonna fall. Doomfist slowed into the... Oh my god.
Slightly scuffed production, folks. Anyways, it looks like blue team might actually be able to take it out here if I don't know, is that overtime spawner? It's not overtime spawner.
No.
So, out comes the Ram, but they're just having to trickle in, and it looks like blue team is just gonna move it the distance.
Getting flashbacks to 2CP.
2CP is definitely feels like. I don't know if Lucio's gonna be able to hold on very long here. Punched off the point. Out comes the rally. That's probably gonna seal the deal. Tracer does find a pick on the Reaper. We have, oh, I'm surprised. Red team is actually battling back. They're holding on for their dear life here. I'm surprised blue team hasn't shut the door on it. That spawn is incredibly close though, so it is at the advantage of red team, obviously, but I feel like this Venture has just been here for like 6 straight fights and has not died.
Yeah. They only really died when they popped Blizzard, and still they came back in time to fight again.
Yeah, really just, again, going unpunished. I mean, I feel like if red team wants to play the brawl, they need like McCree and Cassidy, and they need the Brig or something to really punish and slow down the mobility of blue team. So they either need to match the speeds or they need to play to punish the tempo of the blue team. But it looks like blue is gonna finally take it down there. Bit of a rough one for red team.
Yeah, no cart progress coming from red team again.
They won the first fight, but then that was in part to Mr. Sharkbait kind of yeeting himself off the map. But out comes the Venture ult, and this is from the red team spawn as well. So again, he's just playing wherever he wants. This character is a little busted in the hands of Lord Infernos here.
London Infernos.
London Inferno. Reading is hard. Slightly scuffed production. Anyways, I think we are going to be preparing for the third map, which will be the red team's pick again. Yeah. Depending on the winner of that map, this will be a best 3 out of 5. After the conclusion of the 3 out of 5, we will be reshuffling teams again. The captains will get to reselect team members, and this is actually the second round, so we can possibly get some updated standings of the players' individual scores, but we will reshuffle the teams. Team captains will get the first 2 picks, then the second team captain will get the picks 3 and 4, and we will go from there. Maybe the captains will be more inclined to pick some people based on what they're seeing from these matches here, but I think it's just been domination out of the blue team, really. I mean, they just found the right combination of players that they're all just kind of doing the same thing, right? Everybody is just kind of like, I'm gonna get into the back line and I'm gonna get in their face and I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna get in the back line, I'm gonna get in their face and leave. And red team's just having a really hard time finding their footing. So anything you want to say before we close out here to back to production?
No, not really. I am looking forward to see what happens on this third map, though. Do we know the game mode?
No, so it will be red team's pick, so it cannot be control, it cannot be push, it can be any map from the remaining game modes. It could be escort, hybrid, clash, if somebody wants to play that, or what are we missing? There's one other mode. Clash, escort, hybrid.
Escort, flashpoint.
Flashpoint, there we go. So it could be one of those 4 game modes, and it's red team's pick, any map, any of the remaining modes. And we're going to kick it back to production, and we will get ready for map number 3. And we are back for map number 3 of the Valhalla Classic Super Scuffed Production Test Series. Who will be the Scuff champion?
Well, that's yet to be seen. We're only getting into game 3 now. But
Technically 6, because this is Scuffed. So we did a whole set offline because it's Scuffed.
yeah, I was sitting in this room when you guys did that.
I was somewhere. So, looks like we are going to Eichenwald, and this is red pick. So, looks like interesting
it's red.
composition here. Oh, a Roadhog. I don't mind the Roadhog. Try to maybe like really punish those dive characters. It looks like some changes from blue team as well, but they are keeping that Doom Venture, which is kind of in the core of most of their comp. And actually, they're running the Doomfist on defense. He's probably just wanting to control that first choke. And the Torb's going to be pretty annoying as well, that turret pecking away when the Venture just comes in.
Yeah. Well, Sharkbait is basically a Doom one trick, and London Furnace loves to play Venture. I do like the Hog here, actually. If he focuses out this Venture, then I think it's going to make it a lot easier for them to win this game. Lucio already won, getting picked. London Furnace in a little bit of a hard position here. Bab's looking to try to help him, but Doomfist is going in on the backline. Already very low health. Hog is walking on him. If he hits the hook, Doom should die. Gets Immord, saved his life.
Ooh, actually, sorry, I had a minor audio issue there. So yeah, like red team is doing a much better job of like scaling up and taking some space here. Doom flies in, doesn't catch anything for his trouble. The Echo is doing a ton of damage there and trying to focus out that Baptiste, but oh wow, that is
It's a very large punch coming out from
really big
Sharkbait
punch there.
Yep. Speaking on that Venture, though, that Echo, we are already coming up on many ults. We're 25 away from Pulse. We're 20 away from Copy. We did swap to the Ana on red team, but on blue team, we already have a window. We already have Doom ult in 10. We're 25 to Venture ult. We're coming in on a lot of ults into this fight.
Yeah, I do like the change up from red team. I think they're on the right idea. They're just, again, kind of still struggling to get in there. And then, you know, again, like we talked about, there's the Venture on the backline doing what he wants again. I don't know about the Ana swap. I like the idea, don't get me wrong, but again, this Venture is just kind of going unanswered. And unless you save all your cooldowns to not die to the Venture, it's going to be a bit of a rough go.
Yeah. And I do want to note that the Hog is not really focusing out any of the squishy targets. I see him hooking either the Doomfist or the Reaper most of the time. And I mean, that's not a bad thing at times, but when the Doom is full health with all of his abilities, like especially block, you're not going to be able to kill him when they have Immor up or something. So looking for a pick, like a hook on to either the BAP or just wait for the Venture to dig into your backline probably would be a much smarter play.
Yeah, I think he's definitely on the right idea of going to the more self-sufficient tank that can punish mobility, but the problem here is like they're just not helping him focus down the hook targets, and then I've seen the Life Reaver just pull something that he pulled in, so it's again, it's just kind of the blue team tempo show here.
And only a minute left on the match now. We're still holding a lot of ults on the blue team. Haven't really needed to use them. We do see the swap onto Mago though from red team off of the Hog. I don't really know how I feel about this. He doesn't really have as much sustain, and I mean, while he does have that Brig Moira to help him stay alive, it's not as sustainable as, say, the Hog would be.
I'm honestly surprised red team hasn't gone to a Sombra yet.
Yeah. With the Doomfist just running around and the Venture on top of that, a Sombra would definitely be a strong pick. Because coming into what this is probably going to be the last fight because they're moving so slowly, there's not a lot of there's coming into this last fight, there's still so much online. and a Sombra would help shut some of that down.
Yeah, I think Sombra is just typically an awful character, to be honest. But if you want to shut down a Doomfist, that's definitely the play. And the Life we were surprisingly doing a lot, pulling his team member out of the Blizzard there, which was probably their best bet to try to claw back into this game, which is the Blizzard, but just pedaling and pulling him out, and it's just the blue team show once again.
Yeah. Hopefully after this set we'll see a little bit of some better balancing when it comes to the team selection here.
Good.
So, Spencer, tell me about this first round. What do you think? I know we did this last time. What do you think pink team, red team needs to specifically change to help their odds of winning this?
I mean, I think Sombra could help quite a bit. I mean, if you notice, though, like, the blue team just do the same thing over and over and over. And I just don't think they found the right solution to it yet. And I think they recognize what they're doing. They just haven't picked the right tools to fight that fight. I think what would be good for them is maybe even try that Sombra. The Doom is going to punch into the front line over and over and over, right? So if we have the Doom consistently doing that, you could have a Sombra just hanging out ready to hack it. When he was just instantly punching out, right? So the Sombra doesn't allow that to happen. I mean, there's like a 1 second window where you can't do anything, but that extra 1 second could allow you to really punish him and put the Doom down. But he's just creating so much overhelp and creating so much space and pressure that he's just hard to deal with himself. Then you have, you know, that Bap and that Weaver were just hanging out, not a care in the world in the backline.
Yeah, and not even to say with say they were still running that Hog and they hook the Doomfist and they can hack him out of his block to help burst him more easily too.
Yeah, but it actually looks like he's hopping off the Doom onto the Wrecking Ball. Similar playstyle, but maybe he wants to have even more survivability. But I think the Malga plays a lot better into the bulb. Ooh, Weapon Lex just walking down that McCree, getting a second one as well, and oh, red team is just falling over, unfortunately. And I think that is gonna be a fast map 3, unfortunately, for the red team.
Yeah.
So, oof, bit of a but maybe with another team shuffle, we could see a little bit more of a balanced map. But I will say the first set was it was definitely closer than this set, but a little lopsided as well. So I think what we're going to be doing here going forward is we're going to be redrafting, reshuffling. Team captains are going to get a chance to get those picks to get some new rosters set up. And we're probably going to be running at least 2 more sets today, but we are going to be going on an extended break while we get the teams set up, we get some stuff shuffled, and I think the players going to need to eat some lunch here in a second as well. So we're probably looking about a 30-minute break here. So hang tight, setting a timer, and we will be back.
Yep.
Oh, and we are back for round 3 of the Super Scuffed Test Production West High Valhalla Classic Scramble. What do you think so far about the previous rounds, Mr. Huntar?
The previous rounds have been a pretty hard blowout, but we just did we just rebalanced the teams just now, so hopefully it'll be a little closer over this next set.
Yeah, interesting to see how things shaking out. I was hanging out with the drafted players and some strategy there. Actually, like picking some pretty valuable player or not picking some pretty valuable players in an attempt to try to beat those players to retain points to try to win the Super Scuffed Scramble Championship. So pretty interesting. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take a look at those rosters and see how it shook out here. So, okay, so we got 2U, Sharkbait, Formkey, Big Mac, and Tranquility. So we got Tranquility and 2U back together. Sharkbait was massive on that Doomfist.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take a look at team number 1 now, which we didn't update the title. Super Scuff Production. I did that. Look at that. So we got Weapon Lex, London Furnos, Wanism, Turtle Wumpkins, and Gabatron. So, interesting to see if we get into a little bit more of a balanced place here. So, some of the dive aficionados were kind of split up amongst the two teams, so might have a little bit more of a balanced matchup here.
I do think it's going to be a less coordinated, but overall a better game.
Yeah, definitely. So, I guess we'll see. I believe we are going to Ilios for the first map.
All right.
Boom, there it is, Ilios. And I think we are just about ready to start here. Funny thing about Ilios, too, heavy dive map, but then on Ruins, it is, you could play Brawl, or you can even play Poke.
Yeah.
And you could dive as well. Very Widow heavy, very Widow dominated map.
Yeah.
But it looks like we are actually going to Well for the first map.
Oh, as well. What do you think the chances of seeing a hog here are?
It's Well, I mean, pretty high. I mean, if there's ever a time to run Hog, it would be on Well.
Well and Sanctum are the two.
Yep. Other than that, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it's interesting. Look at that, called it. Oh, 2 Hogs.
Yeah.
They're playing 2 Hogs, 1 Well.
Okay, well, blue team here, looking at the Zen Juno. Pretty decent support comp. Just gotta watch out for that Zenyatta getting picked too early because it's gonna be such a large benefit against the enemy Hog. The Juno, Zen Mercy. I don't really like that very much.
Not the strongest heal composition, but the Mercy for the Pharah is not bad. Hog's pretty self-reliant, and so is Tracer, so it could work out. I'm interested to see how this Junkrat versus Pharah fight works out. Looks like Weapon Lex has fought this fight before, already actually trying to lob him out of the sky.
Yeah, a lot of damage coming in early here. The blue Hog already very low, having to pop his healer and misses the hook.
Discord actually just melting Sharkbait there, and
Yeah, was it?
surprisingly, the Weaver was able to take out the enemy Pharah for the first pick of the fight. You don't see that much every day.
Well, yeah, we see that a lot out of Turtle Lumpkins, though. On the Eichenwald, he was also running the Life Weaver, and it was pretty good. He was able to save his other support from the Blizzard once or twice, and he was pulling whoever got hooked away from the enemy Hog.
Yeah, doing quite a menace on that character, actually. But Lord Inferno's back at it again, just picking apart the backline. And now this is interesting to see because London Infernos and Tranquility were on the same team, and London Infernos was making a lot of space for Tranquility to play in. And what I was mentioning before is like they really need to get someone to pressure him off on that Zen, and now it actually is London Infernos on the opposite side, maybe actually able to pressure him off.
Yeah. The Pharah making a play here with the Mercy Pocket, able to do a lot, but it looks like Weapon Lex is not able to shoot him out of the sky. The Pharah is just so oppressive here on Well, especially since they aren't going for any hit scans. With Venture, whose max range is around like 15 meters, Junkrat. Actually, no, off of Junkrat onto Bastion now. Bastion is a hit scan, is gonna help contest that Pharah. But it's still going to be a little harder for Red to be able to deal with it.
Yeah, I will say, definitely feels a lot more balanced. Back and forth trading. Oh, and Sharkbait takes his Wanishim into the Well. Out comes the Barrage as well. Oh, back at it again. Was that a replay?
Yeah, that was a replay.
That was a replay. We have replay capability?
I didn't know we had replay capabilities either.
Scuffed replays, scuffed stream, scuffed day. All the fun.
Yeah. We do have Valk online right now, and Transcendence. Transcendence, like we said last time, a very large ultimate when it comes to sustaining yourself in a team fight, especially against an ultimate like Venture or Nano. So, coming into this fight, looks like they're walking out left. This is something I honestly like to see. Pushing through the main choke isn't always good when you're just defaulting there, because you often just get trapped within several angles and you can't walk anywhere.
Yeah, especially into the Pharah spam as well. You're just making it pretty easy for them to get max damage, kind of like splashing on the entire team. Looks like Sharkbait looking for that hook again, but Reform Key taking him down before it matters, and out comes a huge Whole Hog. I'm pretty surprised that... oh wow, actually they are running the Ana for Sharkbait's Roadhog, but it doesn't seem to be mattering at this moment. And that is a pretty quick first round for blue team.
Yeah, that was pretty dominant coming from the blue team here. It was, though, all over much closer than the last three were. The last three were basically complete 200-0s on the control. It was almost a complete push on push, and then a full hold on hybrid. So coming into this game, them having capped that second, having capped the first point, at least at some point, is a lot better than how it was before.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a little more balanced, and the coordination is there as well. But it looks like Sharkbait going back over to the Doom he's done so much work with on today. Tuyu on the pocketed Ash as well, looking to do some damage. And actually something we haven't seen today at all is a Sigma out of Juan is him. I've been saying it wrong all day.
I have no idea how to say his name.
I think it's Juan is him. He is him. Juan is currently getting punched out by this Doomfist, though, and having to back up. So, Weapon Lex going over to the Junkrat as well. Maybe wanting to see if we can get something done with those traps and pressure some people out. But so far, Blue has capped the point pretty comfortably. And the Doomfist is going to have a pretty good time just knocking them around and trying to deny them walking through that space. Big pick out of Tranquility, just finds the Junkrat in the crown, but you can see this Doomfist is just having a field day punching through their entire team because the team is playing pretty stacked on top of their Sigma.
Now, red team's thought process right there was to run out bottom right and just go straight to point, but they weren't really able to do that with the Doomfist in their face, pushing them back into the room. And with the Venture behind them, shooting them, doing splash damage, they're in a very bad situation right there, especially since the Doomfist has so much AoE damage with the slam and the punch. They really shouldn't be standing in this room. Even though they have a Junkrat, it's not doing enough to stop the Doom from attacking them, and if they keep going in there, I don't think they're going to be doing very well.
Ooh, and Reforming Key whiffing quite a few shots there and allowing the Lifeweaver to actually take him out with the help of Lord Infernos there. London Infernos. Man, I am just 0 for 10 on saying names. Oh, massive! What?
Whoa, big pull coming from Turtle Wumpkins.
Oh my, Sharkbait's gotta be sad about that one.
Zenyatta still looking for big picks. Does do a bunch of damage to the Venture before Dr. Sharkbait can ultimately come in and finish the kill, but they do force trans out, which is honestly very big.
Yeah, that's a massive ult like we were talking about, so getting to force that out earlier on is pretty fantastic. Looks like we attempted a replay here, but didn't quite work out how we like it. Would have been great to see again. That Lifeweaver pool was fantastic. If there's ever a reason to play Weaver, that's it. But already on overtime, Red actually has the advantage by 2 players. But Ash is up there, making it really hard from the cross. I think we're going to see a huge Bob coming out here as well. Yeah. If it can get the job done.
Ash has been very dominant. Not really been contested by this Doomfist very much. Wait, they're on the same team. Never mind.
Check out Super Scuff Cream coming back at you. We have a Blade online for Reform Key, and he's actually just going to rip it right here. That seems like a little bit of a misplay, but it seems to be working out. He gets 1, he gets 2, he's looking for more. We have a scuffed replay that we can't see anything else going on.
Yeah.
But it looks like Red is able to take the point and keep it even in the face of that Blade.
While initially seeming overzealous, that Blade was honestly pretty big, getting 2 kills. Reforming Key also whiffing again, not finishing the kill on the Weaver.
But Tuyu coming in and getting these limbs for his Genji that could not hit them point blank in the face. Yeah. No shade. No shade.
Oh, yeah.
No shade.
Now, Reforming Key has been known to be a bit of a whiffer in the past. Right there, he really should have dashed to finish the kill, because remember everybody, getting a kill resets Genji's dash cooldown.
It looks like Tuyu is actually going to play the game unfair. I bet it's that first barrage he got on well.
Yeah.
Let's take a look here. Oh no, it's just going to be dinking people. Ignoring the hog, going on to the Lucio to deny them walking it up.
2 kills.
2 kills. What a play. So, what do you think? I mean, I just feel like they're still not answering the Doomfist, right?
No, they aren't. I really think they should have swapped to the Ana sooner.
Yeah, and I mean, and you could definitely play the Ana. I mean, typically, if there's a really dominant Doomfist in my lobbies, I'll go Ana. But it's still a hard matchup for Ana, and you really need follow-up from your team as well. So if they're confident in the Ana, I would say definitely it's a good idea. But then you also have to deal with the Venture. Well, no, Venture's on the other team.
Well, in that situation, I'd say
Well, you
go
have a
Sombra
trophy.
then, too.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one's pulled out Sombra.
Yeah, the
Because
Sombra.
that is like the number one deterrent for a Doom is if they keep getting hacked over and over, you would definitely go over to the Sombra to try to basically discourage them, to get them off the Doomfist. So, interesting to see. I don't know. Maybe they're just men of honor, and they don't want to play the stupid character that makes everyone sad and not let them use their abilities.
But I mean, the Sombra would be good against not only the Doomfist, but the Venture as well.
Ventures on the other team. I know these mix-ups. Don't worry.
We
Maybe both teams should play Sombra. To be honest,
we just scramble the teams, everybody. You're gonna need to give me
it is a
second.
scramble. We are scrambled. It is scuffed. We are scuffed. It's okay.
But I mean, the Sombra would help with the Genji as well, though.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, because I mean, while Reforming Key is whiffing quite a bit, he did pull out a
Leave
decent
him
blade.
alone. He's trying.
He's trying his damnedest, but you know.
I would say that Sombra wouldn't be a bad idea, to be honest. I mean, I would say the big thing is they really need to just recognize the patterns, because nothing has changed. It's the same rotation over and over and over. So if they find a way to punish that, they can continue to punish it because the pattern remains the same. So if they just respond with, when they do X, we do Y, and the pattern doesn't change, that means you should win those rotations over and over. But I think, again, they just haven't figured out what that solution is yet. And there is a variety of solutions you could try. It just depends on what you think is going to work best for you. Like I said, the On is a good option if you're confident on it. If you can also deal with the Tracer and the Genji, the other things going on as well. But if you can't, then it might be a little bit more difficult. Brig's a good choice as well, just to like survivability to boop them back. But I think this Doomfist has provided so much tempo for his team that it's just hard for them to really like mount an offensive against what's happening.
Yeah. In over this, especially in this game right here, but over in the last set as well, this Doomfist has been able to just draw so many resources out of the enemy team, slamming, like when they were all trying to walk through that lower room, he just slams in and then plays a little bit of cover and waits a couple of seconds, and then hits a punch and then backs out and then goes back in with another slam, able to block, get an empowered punch. He's able to just do so much when they group so close together in that small room. It's really hard for them to stop him.
Yeah, I think he's just doing an excellent job using his rotations in and out, and honestly not really getting caught out very often, not really getting punished either. That's Ilios in the books, and it looks like we've selected Junkertown as map number 2. Definitely not known as a Doomfist map. And we did see Wannis him playing that Sigma, and Sigma traditionally pretty darn good here as well. So maybe that's the idea behind the Junkertown pick, is just be able to run a Sigma poke comp into the Doom. I would say as you kind of get into point 2, the Doom could come back in a pretty good way, but point 1 is definitely dominated by Widow, Sigma, Zen strategies to really just use all of that open space.
Yeah. Junkertown has such long sight lines that snipers are just so dominant. If you were to ask Mr. Exoman, he would say this is fine for Doomfist. He has several stall spots he loves to abuse, especially onto Widows who want to walk out top.
I mean, he would also say that Junkrat's great here because it's Junkertown. Mm-hmm. It is his birthday, so we'll let him have that.
Yeah. Mr. Exoman just turned 18, so we're going to cut him a little slack today.
Yeah, we'll give him his birthday, and then you should look him up on the TikToks.
Yeah.
I am Exoman. If you want to see mid Doom play with excellent editing,
mid Doom play, shaky
Exoman.
aim.
Yeah. Well, the thing, too, is his editing is so good, it makes his gameplay look good.
Yeah.
Look at that. He got a plug on his birthday.
Yeah. Decent music selection, too. Decent music selection.
Man, if you can't say anything good about his gameplay, you can certainly talk about his taste.
Yeah.
Would you look at that? I think we're getting ready to jump into Junkertown here shortly. And we are just yapping to fill time. Is your knuckles cracking? That was caught up on the mic. I heard that. A little gross.
How is it
anyways.
gross?
Ooh, back again with a roster. Tell me those graphics don't look nice. That is some good graphics. We gotta shout out production. We gotta shout out Xander in production.
Yeah,
what
shout out
a
to
time
Xander.
he's doing.
Yeah. I'll do it.
Give that man a raise.
I'll say it.
Give that man a raise right now. You know what? Double his pay. Triple it.
Yeah, triple nothing is still 0.
I still tripled it.
Yeah?
Yep.
Would you say the pizza was his pay?
Oh, I didn't provide that, so sure.
Oh, so do you owe him like 6 more pieces of pizza?
That's a lot of pizza.
Uh-huh.
It's worth it. 6 pizzas it is. Also, the titles are wrong.
I know, I noticed
did
that. Yeah, I know, I noticed. I was talking to Xander about it.
Okay. Alright. Listen, we've already branded ourselves as the Super Scuff stream. So, to be fair, it's on theme at this point.
Yeah. Now, they have selected the night variant of this map. It does look better, in my opinion.
Yes.
I'm partial to all the night maps. They just look so much nicer and cozier.
Why is that screen so bright? Why is Takeaway so bright?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know. Ooh, okay. Okay. Here's 2 comps we have not seen at all yet today.
Very different compositions coming out. Blue team opting for the Queen Widow. The Juno's going to be good for the speed onto the red team, but they're running a Diva Pharah. There's not going to be a whole lot to go on besides maybe the Junk and the Ana. The Ana would probably be the main target because the Mercy's going to be in the air with the Pharah.
Yeah, interesting comps all around. I'm surprised there's no Sigma. This is traditionally point 1 is a Sigma map typically, and then dive strategies can definitely be a way to play it as well. But I know that Mr. 2U wanted to play that Widow, and there it is with your first pick onto the Junkrat weapon Lex.
Quick shot over to Junkrat dead on the ground. Sharkbait just lobbing junk spam, trying to find literally anything to do damage to. Gonna be a little hard with the Diva though, just gonna eat the spam before it connects. The Pharah just also spamming out, looking for an opportunity, going way too far into the open, getting picked by 2U, but probably rezzed, yes, definitely rezzed by Turtle Wumpkins.
Yeah, I think Gavatron was not familiar with this man's game, but possibly now he might respect that and flying out into the open.
Yeah.
Ooh, but Reform Key getting aggressive, just running down London Furnos, and their red team is having a pretty hard time just walking out of spawn here. Might want to look at some composition switches to try to make something happen, but Turtle Wumpkins did get a pick on Sharkbait there as the Battle Mercy. Kind of funny. Interesting to see there. Not even sure how he got in the position to be able to do that, but hey, he did get it. Reform Key just continuing to get aggressive, getting that Junkrat. Another big pick by 2U as well. I think Mercy says no, please. No, please. But Reform Key is really just running it down right now.
Yeah, definitely very... oh, never mind. Very contested in the backline.
Traded out
between the Ana and the Queen. Wouldn't say that's worth it. He did kill the Mercy a little earlier, but she's already back. The Ana pick isn't really worth the trade because the Diva's going to just be able to really fly over onto the enemy team. 2U finding a very clean headshot onto the Reaper, kind of just tearing up the lobby right now.
Yeah, he's definitely controlling a lot of that space, and the problem is when you play against a good Widow, it really warps the way you have to play the game, where you can and can't stand, where you can and can't walk, and it demands that you put answers and not just let them sit there and play how they want to play the game, which looks like he gets a pretty good body shot onto the Mercy, and Big Mac finishes him off with the torpedoes there. But yeah, this is a rough time for Red Team here, trying to do what they can to even just get past the first choke here. And it looks like they are trying to deal with 2U's Widow, but he's just getting so much support, and there's a two-man
very large tower coming from Sharkbait right here. Cleaning up a third one onto the Ana, and they're just able to chase down the Diva. Diva's gonna get D-Max. They should stagger her, but they do not opt to. That's 4 for Sharkbait right here.
Hey, and I just realized that Sharkbait is not on tank this game, so a little bit of a swap up there.
Yeah, reforming. He's playing the Queen this game. I will say though, this Diva has not been focusing out the Widow very much. If I were her, which I often am, you really want to try to focus out that Diva so she can't just hard scope on the high ground.
Yeah, and I think I definitely feel like they've tried to dive the Widow once or twice, but between the Pylon and the Juno bailing them out, it's just kind of a difficult to press him. And I think 2U has been pretty disciplined with his grappling hook, where he's able to just get out, and another 2 kills there, and then a pretty big whiff. But hey, he's kind of running the lobby over at the moment.
Yeah. Reforming Key able to run around in the backline more, able to pop his ult and find 1 or 2. Just really kind of having free reign. Is standing in the open a little too much for my liking, but Sojourn's one up top. Tranquility does find the pick, and we're running on Mercy now. This has been a little bit of a hard game for the red team here, but I mean, very clean display of teamwork coming out of the blue.
Yeah, absolutely dominant by blue team. I feel like the last match on Ilios was significantly closer. It was a lot more back and forth. Still a pretty dominant performance by blue, but red was in the game quite a bit more, and this was a pretty lopsided affair. The poke just too strong coming out of the blue team, and the hard part was, like, again, they couldn't really mount a defense. They were just losing people before the fights even started. And then you have people like Mr. Sharkbait just doing Junkrat things in the back line. So interesting how they're able to get away with that. But, you know, let's see. I mean, there could potentially be like a close hold or something out of red where maybe they're able to hold it here, but it's not looking so hot for them at the moment, just because of that limited card progress.
Now, coming into this second round of the game here, I do think that red team here on defense, they need to be very, very proactive with their defense, because they did get full help on offense.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna probably want to try to play close. And make it hard for them to get any progress at all. I mean, I would say even closer to where they're playing now.
Because playing right here sticks the cart right on cap, so SC9 or even just getting picked too much guarantees you're not going to get a second fight. Not even a stagger onto point. We do see the Doomfist coming out of Reforming Key. This is an uncommon pick, but it does work out. Does get into the air and focus out by 2 people at once.
Yeah, and I think if he can keep the pressure up, I think you're gonna see 2U and Tranquility really just hitting these big pokes again. Out with another. Wow, again, True 2 and Tranquility, 2 picks apiece, and this is gonna be a fast map.
The dynamic duo right there.
Man, and I think again, I mean, we talked about how the Doomfist and Venture combo were just like doing so much in the previous iteration of blue team before the shuffle, and how they were all just on the same page. And here, I wouldn't doubt it. Here's 2U probably with some pretty big Widow picks. Excellent shot onto the Diva. Probably gonna take the Ana out here as well. D-body shot Bandit. Well, no, just kidding. Those are 2 headshots, but nice little 3-piece. Massive play out of 2U. But I think what I was saying is like how they kind of match tempos with the Doom and the Venture. This iteration of blue team, which 2U was not on, he was on the receiving end of the Doom and the Venture the previous game, but now he's matching the poke power with the Junkrat, with Tranquility on the Alari.
Yeah, on the Alari.
And really, like, because they're all doing the same thing together, which is poking out angles and making it hard for them to walk where they want to walk and finding picks in between, they're really committing to the poke playstyle, where the previous iteration with blue was completely committing to the dive playstyle. And that's really what this game is all about. It's everyone doing it all together at the same time. So interesting to see the players shuffle and see how like they're able to be cohesive in those strategies as well.
And we also have to keep in mind, though, 2U and Tranquility have been playing with each other for 3 years now, so they do have that connection, that just knowledge of each other's playstyles. So they're basically just on a different wavelength with their playstyles.
Yeah, no, I mean they've played. They're on the JV Westside JV team this season and previous seasons as well. Playing actually started out as the support line until you shifting over to DPS, but they still do have that really good team synergy and really just know how to play around each other. You saw it was pretty dominant. I mean, between the pylon that was put there for 2U and then both of them poking out those angles, I mean, they had 4 picks in that fight that ended the map. So pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, also speaking on the team composition, reforming Key on the tank is a relatively uncommon sight. In the past, he did play some ball near the end of Overwatch 1 to the beginning of Overwatch 2, but he really doesn't play too much tank. So,
yeah, mostly seeing him on the DPS hit scan and some Genji.
Hanzo occasionally as well.
Hanzo occasionally as well. So yeah, interesting to see him make that swap over in Sharkbait going onto the Junkrat. But yeah, I guess we'll see what team or what map Red Team selects for this next one. So we're gonna go ahead and send it back over to production till we know what we're playing next.
All right.
Looks like we are getting into map 3 here, which I believe is Servasa. Excellent. Okay, so typically pretty brawl heavy map. The Doom can definitely work here as well. We see a lot of Junker Queen on Flashpoint, at least in collegiate and professional play. So maybe they bring Reform Key back on that Junker Queen, or maybe they bring Sharkbait back in on the Doomfist and see what they want to do here. We did see 2U play a little bit of Tracer earlier. Tracer's definitely a solid option here on Servasa. Tranquility can get away with that Zen as well. Interesting to see what they come out on.
Yeah. Flashpoint is just such a fast game mode. Having such a fast tank like that Junker Queen is just so useful. Being able to shout and take space so aggressively is just such oh god. It's such a bonus to be able to have that speed. We do see double Reinhardt coming out, which is honestly kind of surprising.
Honor.
Yeah. We do love a good old-fashioned Rhine duel over here at West High School. Many of our legacy / current players enjoy a good Reinhardt from time to time. The ex-varsity team and current varsity team have very good Reinhardt players, so you could call it a little bit of aficionados.
Yeah, West High typically known for their solid brawl playstyle, specifically on the Reinhardt, and it looks like we have Blue Team running it down already with quick bunch of picks. 2U coming out on the Cassidy, which will play really well into this Rheinmere, and maybe actually finally someone able to shut down London Furnos on this venture that he's just been getting so much work done in the majority of these series here today.
Yeah. Being able to pocket that hinder for whenever the venture digs is just going to be so useful, because as soon as the venture pops out of the ground, all you have to do is throw your hinder and the venture should just fall over.
Saying all this, and she immediately kills the blue team's Juno, but Reform Key actually getting some work done on this Reinhardt as well. Tranquility cleaning up and 2U finding the third, so looks like Red actually was able to cap during that point, and then they quickly retake out of Blue, but good little point progress for them, even though Blue lost the fight.
Coming into this fight, though, we see Reforming Key very high up on Shatter. Big Mac is unable to block it. Big slam! Rigo finding 2. And another clean fight coming out from Blue Team right here. Now, Gavitron is very far behind on the on Shatter, so we're gonna need to be oh god, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Super Scruff stream. Scruffed and scuffed, whatever we want to say here. Quick .1 for Blue Team. Very little resistance out of the Red Team there, and it actually looks like Gavitron's gonna hop off of the Reinhardt and elects to go onto the Doomfist, taking a page in Sharkbait's book. Maybe wanting to just play a little bit faster and try to punish the brawl style out of that Blue is currently playing with. But London Furnos actually catches Reform Key out and is able to punish him. So if Red plays fast, they might be able to take this point off of Blue as they do not have a tank at this time. Sharkbait getting aggressive there in the front line, has to pop his recall very quickly, able to get out narrowly and looping back around to try to do some damage.
Almost a little blind right there, but it's fine. Sharkbait does get found by the Doomfist very easily. Good early pick. Blue is down. Coalescence being popped from the high ground. Reinhardt pinning in, looking for some sort of a play. Does create space, gets punched back by Doomfist. They are speed high nooning. Lucio does fall to it, and it looks like this fight will go to Blue.
Yeah, interesting. It looked just so dominated by Red early on, but it looks like they were not able to cap, even though they were, had the first 2 or 3 picks in that exchange. Point wasn't unlocked yet. I'm not 100% sure. I wasn't.
They were fighting.
Should be.
Yeah, they were fighting while point was unlocking. Pulse does get used early, does get missed though. We're looking at another shatter right now. He's looking for it. It looks like a big slam. Cancels the Venture Dig and hits the Doomfist. And it's another fight for Blue Team.
Pretty cleanly too. All they committed was shatter as well. We do have 3 ults coming up for Red. We do have both support ults, and we have that Venture ultimate that can pretty deadly. The problem is that Rhine shield is going to have to get whittled down a little bit. Otherwise, it's not going to get a whole lot done if the Rhine is going to clog up that space. Gavatron, big pick on the Doomfist, and then Juan is him finding tranquility in the backline as well. Looks like they're going to commit the Coalescence to make sure they win this fight, and it looks like they're going to march down pretty easily. Now let's see if they can hold on to it in the face of Big Mac's Ray.
Very easy fight here. Only using Coalescence. They're still pocketing 3 ults, being Venture, Doom, and Beat. All 3 pretty decent ults when it comes to stopping Blue Team from getting to point.
Ooh, looked like London Furnos is setting up behind him. Looked like he was going to try to make a move there, but elects to take the more conservative play and get out.
We're looking at a Venture ult and a High Noon coming for Blue Team here. We'll see if they want to use anything. Here comes the Venture ult. Venture ult is such an extremely strong ultimate that it can turn the fight in of itself. But they do elect to use that High Noon, and it does find 2 onto Oneism and Weapon Lex.
Yeah, pretty scrappy fight there. Looks like they committed Ray, they committed Coalescence. I think we just did another replay there. And then we actually had Doom ult, Beat, and we had the Excavate coming out of Venture. So quite a few ultimates exchanged, but Red Team is not able to convert that investment, and Blue does get the second point.
Yeah. Now, this could be the last point of the game here. If Red doesn't actually cap one of the points on Flashpoint, then we could be looking at a clean 3-0 for Blue Team.
Yeah, then we would look back to shuffle the teams once again for a final round in the Valhalla Classic Super Scuffed Scrim Spectacular. It's so scuffed, the name keeps changing.
Yeah. 2 finding a very good early pick onto London Furnos, and Reforming Key matching that with the pick onto Doom. Very clean from the Blue Team again. Their coordination just out of this world compared to Red Team.
Yeah, they're definitely finding some success on this brawl composition, playing around their Reinhardt, and then Tuyu just doing a ton of work on Cassidy, really punishing people for trying to come into that backline. Anybody that makes it on their side of the Rhine shield is not lasting very long.
And I know we make fun of Reforming Key. We made fun of Reforming Key a decent bit for his Genji gameplay, but I'm honestly very impressed with his tank gameplay over these last 2 games. His Queen and now his Reinhardt have been pretty exemplary. But we do see Gavatron opt to swap to the Mauga to try to counter out that Reinhardt.
Yeah, I think also pretty impressed by Reforming Key's tank play as well. He's playing very conservative on the Reinhardt for the most part as well, but oh, another massive shatter there as well, and up for the 3. Maybe he could hear us praising his Rein play and really just wanted to solidify our stance on his gameplay here.
And there it is, folks. That is a clean 3-0 for the blue team. Now, we did at the end of the last series, or at the last set, say that we were going to be looking for a bit better of a rebalancing, but it doesn't look like that was the case. Very lopsided again.
Yeah, it's interesting too because we shift like 2 players, and the players that are series are then just having a rough time when they swap teams like that. So it's interesting to try to figure out like what is the X factor that's really making that team tick and hum. Is it one specific player or 2 specific players? Like what is it that's really bringing it together? Because we saw London Inferno's absolutely dominant in the first 2 sets, starting out basically 6-0 perfect, and then on 2 different sets of teams as well. And then on this last iteration, just really not able to get it done, but putting up a really good performance, but kind of struggling to make the same impact he had, relative to those other ones. And then Tuyu kind of, again, last iteration was having a rough time and got 3-0'd, was on the receiving end of that, but then really just coming alive and doing a lot on this series, well, in the face of London Infernos that was doing so much. So it's interesting to see what is the X factor really making these teams come together and win, because every set we've seen has been 3-0. We have not seen a single one go back and forth. So I think we're going to be looking at one more reshuffle, and we will probably have another best 3 out of 5, and we'll probably close it out. So we're going to send it back to production. We're going to go on a break here for a little while, and we will be back with the new teams.